What's going on, everybody? This is Logan here at Vaporleaf, and today we're going to be checking out the G-Priv 220 from SMOK. This is a 220 watt dual battery device that can do temperature control and TCR and all that madness, but the crazy part is the touchscreen. So let's go ahead and get down and take a closer look at it. Alright, so first off we're going to go ahead and take a look at what you get inside of the box here. First off, you pull off that little sleeve and you get your pretty standard SMOK box, just all black with a little bit of silver on the front. Inside you got your G-Priv and a little bit of silica to keep everything from getting ruined before you even get to use it. You got a nice little screen protector on there as well. We'll take a look at the device in just a second. If we pull this foam out here, we've also got our little trapdoor. This little card flew out. This is your battery safety card, very important information. You also get your user manual here. Your warranty card, and verification. A micro USB cable. More silica. And a case. For the device itself, you can see this nice big screen here. If you look carefully, you can see the border of the touchscreen as well. You've got a couple little accent marks up here, as well as our screen lock and unlock button, our big fire trigger on the side here, our carbon fiber covered battery door. It looks like that is actually just decal and not real carbon fiber. You got some vent holes on the bottom as well as a micro USB port, which conveniently enough you can charge through on this device. Of course, it is always going to be better if you're charging your batteries through a charger instead of through the device. Then you've got your 510 connection up top. SMOK says that they've redesigned the 510 connection with some kind of squishy stuff. I don't know. Basically, they hope it won't break with the extended pin TF series tanks on there. Now you've also got this teeny tiny little slot right here to get a fingernail into to get your battery door off. Now this is about the closest I've ever felt like I was just going to rip off my whole nail when getting a device open. It's kind of brutal. I wish they gave you a little bit more space for that. Maybe used weaker magnets, although I do like having strong magnets on a battery door. I don't know if that's going to break in eventually, or if it's always going to be like that. I'd say if you have weak nails, maybe pick up a guitar pick or something that you can open it with. Inside of the battery bay here, though, it looks pretty nice. We've got what looks like a serial number there. We've got clearly marked battery terminals, a little warranty void sticker there if you peel that off. We've got nice contacts, spring-loaded on the positive and negative down here. Nice firm contacts, and that's actually going to be the top as well. Overall, just a really nice, clean battery bay. It's looking good. Let's go ahead and throw some batteries in here. With that middle ribbon there, we're going to be going over to one side. Go positive up. Fold it over the other side. And go negative up. And then we've got that little bit of ribbon sticking out there. So you can bring the door over to the side, making sure that the lettering is right side up on the device. And then it's going to be 5 clicks to turn the device on. Now I have noticed that they can be a little bit temperamental about this, but sometimes you get lucky just like that. Now I shouldn't say sometimes, most of the time it should turn on like that, but every now and then it doesn't turn on straight away. It takes a couple tries. First off, on the screen here you got your time in the top left. That is not the actual time. You will have to set that when you get the device. You've got both of your batteries up there, which is really nice. You get a little arrow up here. That's going to be to get into your menu. You've got your wattage. We're at normal preheat there. We've got our puff counter. We've got our amperage. We've got our voltage. And we've got our resistance. Now while we're in the wattage screen here, we can just tap up and down. You can kind of see those arrows pop up. If you want to change the wattage that way, that's pretty convenient. Now you can also tap this little arrow up here, go into VW mode menu, go under effects, you can change your preheat there. Now scrolling with this little scroll bar can be kind of a pain. I don't know, it's a little difficult for me. I don't know if your fingers are made of needles or you're just extremely dexterous, but I'm just not quite good enough to operate this menu comfortably. But anyway, in min and soft, it's going to relax the wattage a little bit off the start, and norm, it's just going to give you your regular wattage that you set it to, and then hard and max are going to actually increase the wattage when you first hit the fire button, and then go back down to whatever your normal wattage is. In this case, we're at 210 right now. We can scroll all the way down to 1 and all the way up to 220 without any issue there. It's super easy. We've got the minus button here and the positive button as well for small adjustments. And then activate is going to be I want wattage mode or I want temp control mode. So when that little switch is off, you're in temp control mode. When it's on, you're in wattage. We can bring it back over here into TC mode now. We can choose our material up here with nickel, titanium, and stainless. We've got a preheat. We can tap on that and just, same thing, just scroll up and down. We've got adjust TCR, so if you know the TCR of your material that you're using in temperature control, you can fiddle with that. We've got adjust initial ohm, so you can actually change what the device is reading as your resistance. And we've got activate once again. Over here we have the max puff setting. It's pretty straightforward. You've got how many puffs you've taken, how many puffs you want to take, and your puff reset. Pretty straightforward there. In the settings here we've got a couple other things. I'm not quite sure what UUID is. Again, it's probably the serial number or something. We've got the model, G-Priv version 1.6. We've got the screen timeout, which is set to 60 seconds. That's how long it's going to be before the screen turns off at idle. We've got the current time and date, which is obviously not the current time and date. And then we've got the factory reset. And if we come back out here, all we have to do is tap the fire button to get back to the main screen. Of course, it will say check atomizer when you've got no atomizer on there. The other really nice thing is this little button right up here. So if you just tap that, it turns the screen off. Because anytime the screen is on, it's looking for some kind of touch input. So if you just tap that, nothing's happening. Now the other thing you can do if you just want to leave that on but you still don't want to actually mess with your settings at all is just hold that button down and you'll get that little lock up there. So that way you can't use the screen but you can still see what's going on with your device. Same thing, just hold it to unlock. Now if you want to lock the whole device without turning the whole thing off and having to wait for it to reboot or whatever, it's 3 clicks on the fire button, it'll say fire key locked. Now we also can't use the lock feature on this button here. We can turn the screen on and off, so effectively right now it's off. If we hold the button down though, you'll see that lock button will not go away and I cannot do anything with the screen here. If we do 3 clicks again, it'll say fire key unlocked and then we're back in normal usage mode. Of course now we can hold that button down and get rid of that lock. So guys, that's about all there is for setting it. It's actually surprisingly simple. I'm really liking these touchscreen designs and make it really easy to get through the whole menu system and really straightforward. Let's go ahead and bring it up top and see how it vapes. Alright guys, so I went ahead and threw my 30mm Buddha on there, as usual, testing the higher powered devices. I've got it set to 220 watts with the max preheat. We're reading 0.24 ohms and about 6.5 volts. Let's go ahead and see how it does. You know, that's actually a little better than I expected with 2 batteries. Usually I can only expect as much as 150 watts with 2 batteries, but I think that max preheat might be helping it out, so of course even though it's set to 220 watts, I'm not actually going to be getting 220 watts, but I'd say I'm getting like a good 175, it seems like. Yeah, it's actually surprisingly good for a dual battery device. I didn't expect it to perform that well. Let's go ahead and bring it back over into the TCR mode here. I'm actually just going to do regular temperature control, but I'm going to use stainless steel. It gives me the TCR of 0.00105, it looks like. We're going to give it a full preheat of 220 watts. Initial ohm I'm not going to mess with, it's reading 0.245, I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to turn on activate. Get back out of that menu. Now we're at 200 Celsius right now, so I'm going to bring that up. Just rounded it right over to Fahrenheit, so we're in 500 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 watts with stainless steel temp control. Let's see what it does. That's pretty darn good. You know, it does seem like it takes some time to get up to 500 degrees, but that's fair. If you guys have seen these coils before, they're pretty large, so it's going to take a while to heat up. But it seems like once it gets to that max temperature, it does actually do a really nice job of staying there and remaining at 500 degrees for as long as you're holding that fire button down. You know, given the performance, I just love this device all the more. I love the way that the menu system works, I love the screen. It can be a little touchy at times. The turning on and off with the 5 clicks on the fire button can be a little weird, but I don't really have an issue with that. It's not like I struggle with it for a while, it's just, it might take a try or two for me every now and then. The build quality itself is actually pretty unusual for SMOK Tech. It is really, really good. A lot of their devices that I'm seeing coming out these days are okay, they're acceptable, sometimes not bad, sometimes kind of going into a little rough. But the G-Priv, I mean, I know it's a little pricier, so that might make sense, but it's got a really nice body, the finish is pretty good looking, the screen is fantastic. I mean, it's not quite smartphone resolution, of course, but those are also really expensive screens. This is, I would say, the next best thing. It does really well without breaking the bank, and it's a really pretty looking screen. I don't feel like I want anything more out of it that I'm not getting. The hand feel is pretty excellent too. It fits pretty nicely in a palm like that. I think most people are going to feel pretty comfortable with this device. All the buttons fall right to hand. Of course, the screen is pretty intuitive to use if you're used to a touch screen of any kind at this point. And again, it's a little bigger for a dual battery device, but it works really nicely, it fits in your hand really nicely, and it's still going to slip into a pocket pretty easily if you're already used to carrying around a dual battery device. All in all, I'm actually extremely impressed in this device. I can see why it's so popular. It's really excellent. I would say it's one of the best on the market right now, up there right next to the Minikin V2 for me. I still might have to choose the V2 though. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. If you like the video, go ahead and leave me a like, and for all the latest and greatest videos from Vaporleaf, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.